Namaste and Jai Shri Krishna. Today we would be narrating the pastime of Safhalaa Ekadashi. It is said that if one observes Ekadashi, then one receives entrance to Lord Vishnu's abode. Simply by listening to this Ekadashi katha, one attains the same merit as observing the fast. Please listen attentively. Safhalaa Ekadashi pastime. Yudhishthir Maharaj said, O Lord Shri Krishna, what is the name of the Ekadashi that occurs during the dark fortnight of the month of Paush, December-January? How is it observed and which deity is to be worshipped on that sacred day? Please narrate this to me fully, O Janardhan.
Please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel to encourage more videos like this.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, then replied, O best of kings, because you desire to hear, I shall fully describe to you the glories of Paush Krishna Ekadashi. I do not become as pleased by sacrifice or charity as I do by my devotees' observance of a fast on Ekadashi. To the best of one's ability, therefore, one should fast on Ekadashi, the day of Lord Hari. O Yudhishthir, I urge you to hear with undivided intelligence the glories of Paush Krishna Ekadashi, which falls on a Devadashi. O King, to benefit humanity at large, I shall now describe to you the process of observing Paush Krishna Ekadashi. Paush Krishna Ekadashi is also known as Safhalaa Ekadashi. On this sacred day, one should worship Lord Narayana, for he is its ruling deity. One should follow the previously described method of fasting. Just as among snakes, Sheshnag is the best, and among birds, Garud is the best. Among sacrifices, the Ashwamedh Yagya is the best. Among rivers, Mother Ganga is the best. Among gods, Lord Vishnu is the best. And among two-legged beings, the Brahmins are the best. So, among all fasting days, Ekadashi is the best. O foremost of kings born in the Bharat dynasty, whoever strictly observes Ekadashi becomes very dear to me and indeed worshipable by me in every way. Now, please listen as I describe the process for observing Safhalaa Ekadashi. On Safhalaa Ekadashi, my devotee should worship me by offering me fresh fruits according to time, place, and circumstance, and by meditating on me as the all-auspicious Supreme Personality of Godhead. He should offer me jambira fruit, pomegranate, betel nuts and betel leaves, coconut, guava, various kinds of nuts, cloves, mangoes, and different kinds of aromatic spices. He should also offer me incense and bright ghee lamps, for such an offering of lamps on Safhalaa Ekadashi is especially glorious. The devotee should try to stay awake all night. Now, please hear with undivided attention as I tell you how much merit one gets if he fasts and remains awake throughout the entire night, singing and chanting the glories of Narayana. O best of kings, there is no sacrifice or pilgrimage that yields merit that is equal to or better than the merit one gains by fasting on this Safhalaa Ekadashi. Such fasting, particularly if one can remain awake and alert all night long, bestows the same merit upon the faithful devotee as the performance of austerity for 5,000 earthly years. O Lion among kings, please hear the glorious history of this Ekadashi. Once there was a city called Champavati, which was ruled by the saintly king Mahishmat. He had 4 sons, the eldest of whom, Lumaka, always engaged in very sinful activities, illicit encounters with the wives of others, gambling, and continual association with known prostitutes. His evil deeds gradually reduced the wealth of his father, King Mahishmat. Lumaka also became very critical of the Devas and Brahmins, and every day he would blaspheme the Vaishnavas. At last, King Mahishmat, seeing the condition of his son, exiled him to the forest. Out of fear of the king, even compassionate relatives did not come to Lumpak's defense. So angry was the king and so sinful was Lumaka. Bewildered in his exile, Lumaka thought to himself, my father has sent me away, and even my kinsmen do not raise any objection. What am I to do now? He schemed sinfully and thought, I shall sneak back to the city under cover of darkness and plunder its wealth. During the day I shall stay in the forest, and at night I'll return to the city. So thinking, Lumaka entered the dark forest He killed many animals by day, and by night he stole valuable items from the city. The city dwellers apprehended him several times, but out of fear of the king, they left him alone. They thought that it must have been the sins of Lumpak's previous births that had made him lose his royal facilities and act so sinfully. Though a meat eater, Lumpak would also eat fruits every day. He resided under an old banyan tree that happened to be very dear to Lord Vasudeva. Indeed, many worshipped it as the god of all the trees in the forest. In due course of time, while Lumpak was doing so many sinful and condemnable activities, the Safala Ekadashi arrived. On the eve of Ekadashi, Dashmi, Lumpak had to pass the entire night without sleep because of severe cold and his scanty bedding. The cold not only robbed him of all peace, but almost killed him. By the time the sun rose, his teeth were chattering and he was almost comatose. And all that Ekadashi morning, he remained in that state and could not awaken out of his near comatose condition. When midday of the Safala Ekadashi arrived, the sinful Lumpak finally came to and managed to rise up from his place under the banyan tree. But with every step, he stumbled to the ground. Like a lame man, he walked slowly and hesitantly, suffering greatly from hunger and thirst in the midst of the jungle. So weak was Lumpak that he could not kill a single animal that day. Instead, he was reduced to collecting whatever fruits had fallen to the ground. By the time he returned to the banyan tree, the sun had set. Placing the fruits on the ground next to him, Lumpak began to cry out, "Oh, what should I do, dear father? What is to become of me? O Sri Hari, please be merciful to me and accept these fruits as an offering." Again, he was forced to lie awake the whole night without sleep. But in the meantime, the all-merciful Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Madhusudan, had become pleased with Lumpak's offering of forest fruits, and he accepted them. Lumpak had unwittingly observed a full Ekadashi fast, and by the merit he reaped on that day, he regained his kingdom with no further obstacles. Listen, O Yudhishthir, to what happened to the son of King Mahishmat when but a fragment of the merit sprouted up within his heart. As the sun rose beautifully on the day following Ekadashi, a handsome horse approached Lumpak as if seeking him out and stood next to him. At the same time, a voice suddenly spoke out from the clear blue sky, saying, "This horse is for you, Lumpak. Mount it and ride swiftly out of this forest to greet your family. O son of King Mahishmat, by the mercy of the Supreme Lord Vasudeva and the strength of the merit you acquired by observing Safala Ekadashi, your kingdom will be returned to you without any further hindrances. Such is the benefit you have gained by fasting on this auspicious day. Go now to your father and enjoy your rightful place in the dynasty." Upon hearing these celestial words, Lumpak mounted the horse and rode back to the city of Champavati. By the merit he had accrued by fasting on Safala Ekadashi, he had become a handsome prince once more and was able to absorb his mind in the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari. In other words, he had become my pure devotee. Lumpak offered his father, King Mahishmat, his humble obeisances and once more accepted his princely responsibilities. Seeing his son decorated with Vaishnav ornaments and tilak, King Mahishmat gave him the kingdom, and Lumpak ruled unopposed for many, many years. Whenever Ekadashi came, he worshipped the Supreme Lord Narayana with great devotion, and by the mercy of Sri Krishna, he obtained a beautiful wife and a fine son. In old age, Lumpak handed his kingdom over to his son, just as his own father, King Mahishmat, had handed it over to him. Lumpak then went to the forest to serve the Supreme Lord with controlled mind and senses. Purified of all material desires, he left his old material body and returned back home, back to Godhead, attaining a place near the lotus feet of Lord Sri Krishna. O Yudhishthir, one who approaches me as Lumpak did will become completely free of lamentation and anxiety. Indeed, anyone who properly observes this glorious Safala Ekadashi, even if unknowingly, like Lumpak, will become famous in this world. He will become perfectly liberated at death and return to the spiritual abode of Vaikuntha. Of this there is no doubt. Moreover, One who simply hears the glories of Safhalaa Ekadashi obtains the same merit derived by one who performs a Rajasuya Yajna, and at the very least he goes to heaven in his next birth. Thus ends the narration of the glories of Paush Krishna Ekadashi or Safhalaa Ekadashi from the Bhavishya Uttar Puran. Namaste.
Hari Bol.